God. Hey guys, Kevin again. In this day, I'm going to be referring to Arrow Season 2, Episode 7, State vs. Queen. And just from that intro, you can tell this was a huge episode. It was a huge game changer, and I absolutely love this episode. I thought it was definitely one of the best episodes that they've done. By the way, if there's a glare, the sun is right in my face, so I cannot fix that. I'm sorry about that, but there's a huge glare, and I don't know how to fix it. So, probably just going to turn this way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that works. So, this episode, we had two really big things. One, it was the first episode where we had a really big villain, the Count, and also it had to do with Moira's trial. Don't really want to talk about the flashbacks. I mean, the flashbacks were fine, but there wasn't much. I mean, there was stuff going on there, but I mainly just want to talk about those two things. So, first, let's talk about Moira's murder trial, because that was probably the biggest thing here. So basically, it starts with the events of the last season where Moira told the city about the plot. We see prison guards fleeing the glades, leaving the prisoners behind. The Count is among the inmates left behind. The earthquake sets the Count free, and he lets some other prisoners out too. So then we see that Oliver and Thea, they're at the start of Moira's trial. They are mobbed by the media as the DA look on Donner smile because he has something that will prove Moira's guilt. And, so basically, what ends up happening is that, an ambulance takes Donner away. The Count is, well, okay, that's the other plot. Let me just get to, okay. Laurel goes to, visit Moira in prison. She knows that it is against the rules, but she warns Moira not to testify. Laurel warns Moira that she has a document that is really bad, and she will have to reveal if it gets the chance to cross-examine Moira, and shows that the document to Moira, who seems pretty shaken about this. Eventually, she's forced to tell her children her awful secret, and the secret is that she didn't want to say it in court, but it turns out that she actually cheated on their father with Malcom Merlyn in court. The secret affair comes out, and Laurel tries to paint all this as evidence that Moira and Malcom were actually pretty close. And it's really bad for Moira, but I don't know. And after the day is done, Laurel is shaken at how hard she attacked Moira in court. Oliver seemed more concerned for Laurel than for his own mother, and I found that pretty interesting, the way that was working. So then Thea and Oliver are they're at the courthouse. It seems the jury is about to reach a quick verdict, probably a bad sign for Moira. Oliver's phone rings. He takes it to Felicty, and that's to do with the other plot. But he rushes back to the court, and it turns out that Moira is actually not guilty. It turns out that they said that she's not guilty. Everything seems like it's okay. And, but then we find out that as she leaves the courthouse, there's this driver who goes to meet her, says there's someone there to meet her. Someone ends up killing the driver, and it's Malcom Merlyn. Yes, Malcom Merlyn, the whole person who got her to this courthouse in the first place, is here. The whole person who got her there is back. He steps out of the shadows. He says he knows how to pretend to be dead, and he reveals that he bribed the jury to get Moira off. And he also says that he conducted a secret DNA test, and now he finds out the biggest thing is that Thea is actually his daughter. What? What? This does not make any sense at all. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on, but it's a really big twist. There's a lot coming. Definitely a big game changer, and unfortunately we have to wait a week for this, but that's not the only thing that was going on, because the other big storyline was the storyline with this villain, the Count. Now, the Count is a very complex villain. We definitely have to talk about it. It's a very complex villain. I really liked his storyline, though. I really liked the way it went. So, basically what happens is that Dig seems to be really sick, and Oliver tells him to rest because he had gone to Felicity, and Dig just like passed out completely. And you know, pretty much what happens is that Felicity is watching the news, and there's a lot of speculation on the internet that an accident involved the accelerator. That will be the thing that turns Barry on to Flash. That's for another episode, though. But Felicity turns off her newscast in time to catch Dig, who collapses from some mystery illness. And then there's a scientist who brings something to the Count, and the Count poisons the doctor with vertigo and mentions that he can't wait for the entire city to beg him for mercy. And at the trial, oh, we talked about that already. So Oliver goes to check on Dig, and Felicity tells him that Dig has trace amounts of vertigo in his system. They figure out that the Count escaped, and Oliver wants to know how Dig got vertigo in his system. So back on the island, Oliver, oh, that's the island, that doesn't matter. So yeah, this was definitely very interesting with the vertigo. The Count is driving the ambulance. For a while, it didn't seem like the Count couldn't be stopped. The Count is driving the ambulance that night. The Count hijacks the airways to show the ADA is his captive. The Count points out that the people all across the city are feeling unexplainable pains. He tells the city that there is a simple cure for their pain, vertigo. He gives Donner some, and the ADA seems noticeably relieved. The broadcast concludes with, "I'm Count Vertigo, and I approve this high." So yeah, this is definitely pretty big. They go to study some stuff about the Count, and the Count is hiding out in abandoned government records and building. Arrow pays the building a visit, freeing Donner. The Count has a huge vertigo production team at the building and is unmoved when Arrow arrives. He says that he knows Arrow refused to kill anyone, presents himself as an easy target for Arrow, and Arrow shoots a propane tank, causing a big explosion which leads him and Donner to escape, and the Count remains at large. Eventually, though, the Count ends up trying to kill Felicity, and you know, the Count says he wants to kill Oliver and says that someone with me set all this up so the Count could get revenge. And the Count is all ready to give Felicity a huge dose of vertigo. Oliver has no choice, and basically he kills the Count. Yes. This is the man who made a pledge and said I would not kill anybody. Well, he fixed that all for Felicity. He did it for Felicity, and you know what? That really shows how much he loves Felicity, and it really shows that sometime they're going to get together, because he would not have done that just because he wanted to. He did that for Felicity because he loves her. You see that. Felicity eventually goes up to him and says, "I'm sorry I put you in a position where you had to kill." And he really doesn't seem like he regrets it. He seems like he really wanted to kill the Count, and he's happy he did, because I don't think the Count could have been stopped. I think if he hadn't killed the Count would have just kept killing people. Honestly, the guy who played the Count was an awesome villain. I thought he was one of the best villains we had on this show, and this is probably the best episode of the season just because of all the big reveals that we got. Because then back in the present, Brother Blood reveals that he was behind the Count taking on the Hood, and he is upset that the Hood is still alive, but he is pleased when one of the people he has been experimenting on does not die, but he says he's feeling stronger. So basically what we're to assume is that this vertigo is this army that Brother Blood is making, basically. We know he wanted to make this big army, and he's starting to make it, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very good thing. And now the only other thing with the island is that Shadow had put them all on this the flashbacks on the island. He had put them all on this like journey basically and everything. There isn't much going on there. Shadow pulls out the hose, and she doesn't know why Iva wants it. There's a Buddhist inscription on one side and some numbers on the other. She reads the numbers out loud. It's coordinates to locate the Japanese sub that ran against here decades ago. Sarah says something on the sub can save the human race. Oliver wants to find so they can save the badly burned Slade. Nearby, an angry rival kills one of his men for failing to stop Oliver from escaping. So, pretty much, that's what happened in this episode. It was a really big episode. A lot happened in this episode. I definitely really enjoyed it. I thought it was probably the best episode of the season, in my opinion. I know I said last week's was, but this one truly was. We had a lot going on. One, we know that Malcom Merlyn is back. We know that Thea's his daughter. Oliver has killed someone. He's going to have to deal with the repercussions now that Brother Blood is building this army. And the flashbacks, as far as the flashback goes, I just wasn't really into it because there was so much other stuff going on. So the flashbacks I just wasn't really into. The rest of the episode I absolutely loved. Definitely great episode. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. What's going to happen now that Thea is Malcom Merlyn's star? Do you think that she knows that she's his daughter? I think she probably does. Is Oliver also his son? Because, I mean, Thea is Oliver's sister, so Oliver has to be his son as well. It just makes sense. Brother Blood is building this army. How do you think this is going to affect them? And also, what will Malcom Merlyn do to Moira? Why do you think he set this all up? But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. which will be for the Tomorrow people. By the way, sorry about the glare in the beginning of the video. I think it's gone now, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.